I'm back again with part 3. Hopefully now I will finish it. I have set the alarm for 15 minutes so I know when that's up. So you've just seen the centre of the second signature. Moving on, you saw that I threaded some embroidery thread along here. This is all snowflake stamped, and here we've got a little tuck that I've made. Up the top here is one of my paper clips. That's holding a tag in on the other side. There we go. So that one's been made with layering up lots of bits and pieces, and it says winter. And here is a little journal card. Again, I've got some of that glittery organza on the back, a little applique there. This image was from Pinterest, and then there's the lined paper on the back. So she just tucks in there. And then on this page, we've got Make a Winter Wish with some collage. And this is one of the tags that I've made, and it's just basically layers of doily and cheesecloth and bits and pieces, and this image was actually from the Stamperia kit, so that just goes in there. Here we've got the other half of the glassine bag, and I've put some ribbon along here with snowflakes on, and as you can see there is a little something in here, and this is a little booklet that I've made, and this is actually a paper bag that's the front and the back cover, and I've put glassine paper over the top, sewed it around and stamped out along the edge with one of my edge punches, and that says, just like the butterfly, I will awaken in my own time. And that's just a little notebook there, which I've just spotted the mistake that I've put the pages in with the lines going the wrong way, but never mind, this is junk journal land. And here is a tiny, although quite delicate, if I can do this without ripping it, little hideaway pocket if Ali wants to put something in there. Just a little note or a phone number or something. So that's that. So that goes in there. And then on the other side, I've embellished it with some of that wallpaper, the white wallpaper, and cheesecloth, and this image of this dear little bunny. This is one of my paper clips. I've just put it here for embellishment to give the page a bit more interest. And this one says, don't lose your sparkle. So here is the other half of that blue paper bag that you saw. And this is a brilliant example of the white wallpaper that you can see and how I've used it in here. If I can grab the actual tag, it would be handy. So I've created a belly band here and stuck it onto the paper bag to give it some reinforcement and a bit of strength. And this is just a little tag that I've made with some erratic sewing and this little applique, and there's writing paper on the back, and that just slips in there. And because that's got texture, it grips it really nicely. I'll leave that there a moment. So there's the other half of that tag with the little girls. Let's bring it back into frame. And in the next one down, we've got, if I can get that in, another one of the white ones that I've made with that applique, and that's all fabric. Notice also I've used these little white eyelets that are flowery. They're quite pretty. I think I picked them up from a car boot sale at some point. And they fit the crocodile perfectly. So that was good. I can't get this one in now. Oh my goodness. Why does it always happen on film that you struggle? Where is the pocket? There it is. I think my finger being sore has not helped, actually. Okay, so on this side, actually, where did that come from? I actually don't know. I'll leave that there for a moment. So that's the other half of the bag, and I've embellished it with some paper and some, you know, bits and pieces like the other ones. These are appliques off a trim. Here we've got Crystal Dreams. That's from the online kit, and I've made a journal card in behind here with some scraps of bits and pieces, and one of the fairies from that journal, Blue Stars. That's it. Turn that over. Oh, that's where it came from. I've got a belly band here, and in here is one of the tags I've made using paper from the online digital kit. And again, I've made a flower, and it's got this lovely trim that Andrea gave me. Underneath is the organza fabric, and on the back you've got that beautiful coffee dyed lined paper. So here we've got another pocket. I'm sorry I keep knocking the camera. This is a double tiered pocket. Here I've put a big piece of this lace, and we've got this little card. Again, these little girls are from Pinterest and backed in lined paper. And then at the top here, we've got one of Mrs. Cogg's images, and I've got my vintage flower trim at the top there, so you can pull it out and to give it some interest. And on the back is the lined paper. And these pockets are all made with fabric. And I believe that, yeah, that is the vintage fabric in the back. So we've got another collage here. And this is one of my favourite trims, this blue one, with the little, what are they called? Oh, you know what they're called, little beady things hanging off them. I'll remember it in a minute. You're having to think fast when you're against the clock. Sequins, that's what they are. So some more stamping there, room to write. Here is a piece of that vintage fabric that I've frayed on the edges. I've layered up some bits and pieces at the top there, and that tips up, and underneath is a collage of a little bear and a little chipmunk from one of the paper napkins. Here I've got some organza ribbon that I've made into a ruffle. And this is the back now, the last of the second signature. And what I've done here is I've actually added a piece of the cover. So you can see that it was all lined, and I've added it as like a belly band. And there is one of Mrs. Cogg's images of this couple in a horse and cart. And there's one of my paper clips, and that's got Winter Wonderland. And I just put that up there, banging the camera again and kissing the camera. There we go. All right. So this is signature 3. I will race through this one. This is from the Blue Stars Stamperia kit. And there's a little butterfly that I cut out from some fabric and put cheesecloth underneath. And then we go over. And here, this is a flip up, flip down for writing space, and those pages are from the online digital kit I used. And then in the top here we have a tag, and that's the little girls that are on the front page. Can you see? And that's just been layered up with some trim and things there. And again on the back, that's got the plain coffee dyed paper. Okay, back in frame. So we carry on. More collaging down here. There's lots of collage throughout here. This is another pocket. This has been layered with a vintage kind of linen. This is a vintage doily that's been dyed blue, and I've put some pom-pom trim on. And this is a little snowflake that I've cut out from somewhere. I think it's actually the middle of a doily. And it says, let it, and then you turn it over, a little tag, and it says snow. And in here is one of my favourite Mrs. Cogg's images of people on sledges. Isn't that great? So nice bit of journaling space there. Oh, I haven't put any paper on the back of that. I will do that, so I'll leave that there so I don't forget. And here we've got a double page spread of the paper from the kit. And I've just put butterflies and lots of layering here. And here's an envelope I made with the blue wallpaper that I used. So that says Winter Wonderland, and that just opens up. And there is a little something in here, actually. And I will put something in the other one. There's a piece of paper that's been coffee dyed and inked with that blue. For those of you that are wondering, it was the Forget-Me-Not archival ink from Ranger that I used to stamp up and do most of this book. So I'll just put that in there for now, because I'm going to go through it before I pack it. And down here we've got Don't Lose Your Sparkle. And here I've got a little trim here where Aly can put some bits and pieces if she'd like. This is a little jelly bean bag that Andrea sent me, and I've layered it up with some applique and cheesecloth. And in behind we've got another one of the pages from the Digi kit, and I've shrunk it down and put winter, a lingering season, time to gather golden moments, embark on a sentimental journey and enjoy every idle hour. And John Boswell said that. And up here we have a little tag, one of the fairies from that Stamperia kit that I've talked to you about already. Another pocket, again, that's vintage underneath. This is all modern, all layered up. And this is another tag that I made with one of the envelopes that I saved from my junk mail. So it's got the window, and I've got little butterflies made from the wallpaper in behind, and I've stamped some of that organza trim on there. And on the back it's plain. Another bag. Inside this bag, well, we've got a doily there, and we've got a picture of some children, and they are sledging down a mountain. That's also from Pinterest. Backed with copy paper. Here is some doily that I've actually done some decoupage on from a winter napkin. We have a piece of Edith Holden in here. The only bit I've put in actually, and it's one of my favourite images because that's from January. More collage here. Another bell, trim, and this is quite interesting, this little pocket here. This is held together with some organza ribbon. It's a flip up, flip down. And I've got a little collage up here with frost-free heart, and down here it says Winter Wonderland. And you've got some pages there, Ali, to scribble into your heart's delight as well. No, I didn't make that into a pocket. This is the centre of the last signature, and because this is quite dark and a mountainous background, I liked it and I kept it plain, but I've added white butterflies this time from the wallpaper that I've used throughout. That one's dangling down underneath. So there's plenty of space there if you want to write. Here on the back we have another pocket. This says Whimsy Hollow, which is from the online digital kit. Lots of layering, and a journal card from the Stamperia paper pack, and that's been lined as well with paper. Here's a fabric ruffle made with some of the vintage fabric that I've used throughout. On the other side there's some washi tape, there's some wallpaper and butterflies. The other half of the Edith Holden paper, and on the other half of the doily there's another bit of decoupage. There's the other half of the bag, and inside we've got one of Mrs. Cogg's images, and she's backed with lined paper. This here is vintage, this trim. Here I've got a little corner pocket which has got tons and tons of layering and texture, and up in the top I've kept this little bit open, and there's a teeny weeny tag here because I was aware that I didn't put anything teeny weeny in this one, and I normally put in an envelope or something. So it's got that. And this beautiful picture from Pinterest, which has been backed, and on the back it says little moments big memories, and that slips up there like that. So we're nearly at the end, folks. I believe this is the last pocket, and this is made with that white fabric with all this applique on, which was a blouse, and I've got this snowy trim here. This is a little collection of my favourite trim, and one of the flowers is from the vintage tablecloth thing that I use. And this is the last tag that I created using the white organza image from the online kit and some bits and pieces there to make a little picture. That slots in there. You've got another piece down here, Ali, that you can add as a little tuck spot, or you can just leave it as decoration. That's the page from the other of the online kit, and here I did put this one in as a pocket. I know it's the only one, but I loved it. They're all ice skating on the ice, and up here I used this one, and these are both Mrs. Cogg's from the winter kit that I will put below, and then that's been backed with lined paper as well. And we come into the end, so we've got paper here with a bit of embellishment, paper here, and on the back here I've put 2 jelly bean soup pockets, and this says kindness can change the world. And in here we've got 2 tags that I've made with the vintage fabric that I've used throughout, that was dyed blue before I bought it. And on the back there you've got my stamp, and here I've put a triangular pocket in, and that's my alarm, but I will carry on because I'm finished now. And this is another vintage postcard that my brother brought for me, which I thought, Ali, you would love. Again, it's got just having a look, it's just a landscape, but it's so beautiful and so wintry. And this is actually Lake Louise in Alberta, Canada, so that will go in there. And what I did forget to mention was I did reinforce the spine with some lace as well, and it's got Tyvek inside. So there you go, that is Ali's journal. Ali, my darling, I hope you like it. In the end, I was glad to finish it because it's been going on for so long, but it is a beautiful journal. I will be sad to see it go, and it couldn't go to a more deserving lady. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching my flip through. I'm going to have a break from making the winter journals at the moment and get on with a couple of design team projects for Andrea. So I've got the little ones in the tins, but they'll probably now be left for a month until we get a bit nearer to Christmas, and then I shall put them up to show you. But all I've seen for months and months is blues, and I need to get away from blue for a while. So for now, it's bye from me, and take care, everybody, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.